Now, Liz Truss, she has staged an intervention, so it's been called. I don't know why everyone calls everyone that. She's just basically done a speech. But anyway, she's speaking out directly to the likes of Rishi Sunak. She's calling upon him to cut taxes, slash benefits, and raise the state retirement age. I can hear some of you groaning about that from your sofas as I speak. Anyway, she's been doing this big speech, Institute for Government, and it was quite a lengthy speech. I have to say, I agreed with some of the key points that she was making. And I thought, actually, you know what, I do think, and I can't help it, because I know people will shout at me, talk about lettuces and all the rest of it. But I do, when you actually look at some of the points she's making, I think she's speaking a bit of sense.
Well, look, if people don't like Liz Truss, they should remember that one should be capable of separating the message from the messenger and assessing on its merits the argument without thinking, do I like this person or not, or did I think this person was good in the last job they did or whatever. There's also a basic point. What are ex-prime ministers supposed to do? Like policemen, they're getting younger and younger. They're going to have lives to live for decades on current form to come after they've left office. Are they supposed to just never say anything? So I think this is completely reasonable to have this speech and to make the points that she's making. I would say the situation that happened last year after Liz Truss went into number 10 is something that should give anyone pause and think about reforms. But I mean, the one that really caught my eye was suggesting corporation tax should be back where it was at 19%. Well, that wasn't regarded as controversial at all in this country for years. Now, some of our international competitors did think that 19% was too low, but it's still higher than the Irish. It's not a completely, out with an uncontroversial position to have taken.
But I'm sure
it does make us more competitive internationally.
Jeremy Hunt, I'm sure, unless my memory fails me, which it does a lot these days, I'm sure that when he was trying to get elected as the leader of the party, I'm sure that was one of the things that he used to campaign on.
That is correct.
Reducing...
And he has been asked about that, and his reply, make of it what you will, his reply is, I haven't changed my mind on the destination, I've changed my mind about how to get there. Right,
well, I'll tell you some of the things that I agreed with Liz Truss from her speech today. State spending, she says, now accounts for nearly 50% of GDP. She's calling that out. She's calling out the fact there's a massive burden on regulation. She's saying our tax system is way more complicated than it needs to be. Alex's point, very valid. She's talking about reducing corporation tax. She's talking about reforming what they call the IR35 regulations. What is to disagree with in that?
I'm just amazed that Liz Truss thinks that she can come and tell us how to run a country when she was given a chance and didn't, right?
Was she given a fair crack of the whip?
Well, it wasn't people like me who got rid of her. It was the financial markets. I mean, it was the Tory party who said we can't go on. I mean, I remember being at Labour Party conference and watching the pound plunge. It was the markets that decided that she wasn't any good. The big thing about Liz Truss is she talks about growth. Who is anti-growth? I mean, that's what it is. She talks as though she's the only person who knows how to do it. No, I actually don't think that state spending should go down. I mean, I certainly don't think that benefits should be cut. And that is one of the problems that when she was in power. So she had tax cuts for the rich, and she wanted benefit cuts so that the poor, and I mean, trying to live on benefits is pretty tough. They get very little. And actually,
no one should be living on benefits, though, unless they physically are not able to go to work, though.
Well, there are a lot of people who are trying to get jobs who are physically unable to go to work. I mean,
you don't have to physically go to work in this day and age. You can work from home.
No, I know, but actually, they have to get a job, right? They have to. I mean, there is no question that people getting universal credit are asked week after week, what are they doing about getting a job? I mean, it's not...
Hang on, I thought it was fascinating, because, of course, the relevant ministers were pilloried last month when they suggested that disabled people should be considered for working from home. And the guns of those criticising them were rather spiked when somebody thought to ask the people concerned, would you like, if you had the opportunity to work? And a very significant number of them said, yes, I would like. It's empowering to work. I would like. No, I can't go down. I'm not going to be neither shelf stacking nor pole vaulting. But if I can work at a desk in my house and suitable accommodation can be made, I would like to do it. And I thought that was great.
Actually, the charity said, yes, of course people would like to work from home, but they would like to be supported rather than told that if they can't do it, they'll have their benefits.
Well, that's what I just said.
I think what we want is, yes, of course we want more people being able to work. We want people who are stuck at home not to just be sitting there, but to actually be able to work. It's really good for them, and most of them want it. But actually, you have to help them.
Well,
right?
That's why I said...
Instead of saying, you know, if you don't do it our way, we're going to cut our benefits.
That's why I said about suitable accommodations being made. But let's try it a different way then. We've had... an enormous number of people since coronavirus began in this country added to the unable to work bracket. Long-term sick, going on to disabled, and so forth. As a country, even if someone's expressed their view inelegantly, even if said something you don't like as a proposed solution, it's a debate we've got to have. And it seems to me that many people in politics are just very unwilling to have it. We've had a category change in this country. 500,000 plus more people going into that division.
I don't think anybody's fighting it. What I'm saying is the charities for people like people with MS, people who actually can't get out to work, there is not a charity for long COVID yet, are saying, yes, great, help us. That's all I'm not saying that they shouldn't, right? But the other problem is that, you know, when James Forsyth and The Spectator looked at long-term sick, they were extremely worried about what it really meant and how sick people were. And so you know, I mean, particularly for the over 50s.
But there's two types of being sick, isn't there? There's the type where actually you're just left alone. So that's it. I'm on long-term sick and off I am. And I think the category that they were talking about, the people that actually, to Alex's point, you could be actively reassessed and all the rest of it. There's too many people in the camp of being told, that's it, you're so ill, you can never work again, see you later, forget about you.
I'm agreeing, and actually...
What state spending would you increase then? Because you said you disagreed with Truss. You don't want to see state spending reduced.
I don't want to see it cut, because actually...
But no, you said it. Didn't you say you wanted it to be increased? You would spend more.
No, what I said was I really don't want to see benefits cut, because I think people are having a tough time. I mean, I remember when Liz Truss was going for the leadership, and we were about to we knew the energy prices were going to go through the roof, and she said, I don't believe in handouts. I mean, it's that sort of language that actually I think entrepreneurs are great, but I think ordinary people aren't. And that is the problem. And what we have in this country is people are expecting state spending on things like nurseries, right? Childcare, and actually, if you want growth, you need to spend more on childcare.
But
because then women can go to work.
She was advocating making it easier for people to get access to quality childcare, wasn't she?
And our provision of childcare across, it's not a party political point particularly, it's been true of parties on both sides of the aisle, has been an outlier in being poor in comparison with our international neighbours. And Scarlett is right, it's an empowering thing that helps women to get back into the workplace, and sooner, if they want to, and the sooner they do that, the better their economic output, and on a statistical basis more broadly, the better the economic output for the country.
Well, you guys are divided at home, I can tell you. Graham says she's a failed Prime Minister. How on earth has she got the nerve to suggest now what should be done? He says if she had any dignity, she'd stay gracefully in the background. John, though, says, bang on, Liz Truss. She's right on the money. He completely agrees with her. What do you make to it all? Get in touch